нашу лекцію. 10 година на годиннику сьогодні, 17 березня 2025 року, і я від імені Центру українсько-європейського наукового співробітництва щиро вітаю всіх учасників науково-педагогічних стажувань, які відбуваються на базі Вищої школи менеджменту інформаційних систем ISMA, міста Рига, Латвійська Республіка. Через певні обставини, пов'язані з хворобою лектора, у нас сьогодні заміна. Замість пані Юлії буде пані Вікторія Рященко, доктор економічних наук, професор, експерт Академії наук Латвії, директор навчальної програми бізнес-адміністрування Вищої школи менеджменту інформаційних систем. Але тема лекції не змінюється. Професійне вигорання педагогів. Пані Вікторія, будь ласка, вам слово. Пані Вікторія, чекаємо вас.
Can you see my
Yes, yes.
presentation? Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here today. I know that many of us are juggling multiple responsibilities, teaching, working, mentoring, and management our personal lives, all while trying to maintain some sense of balance. It's no surprise that the burnout has become an all too common issue in our profession. We often tell ourselves that if we just get a little more sleep, if we just push through this one semester, things will get better. But the truth is, burnout isn't just about being tired. It's about emotional, mental, and even physical exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. Today, we are going to talk about burnout, what it looks like, what causes it, and most importantly, how we can prevent it. And many don't see the burns placed in schools, senior leaders and teachers and lectors. Not only do we seem to be trying to teach the next generations the knowledge, the skills needed for successful life, and we are also being asked to play a huggle societal role without adequate funding. It's not a surprise, therefore, that many leaders and classroom teachers, both new and experienced, face burnout at some point in their career. And let's start by knowledge the reality. Teaching and working tired is an occupational hazard. And then you can see from this slide, Marilyn Weimer, PhD in psychology, we can start by facing the reality of tired teaching, no longer pretending everything will be ok if we just get to bed earlier. And burnout isn't just feeling drained after a long day, it's deeper. And please ask yourself, have you become cynical or critical at work? Do you struggle to find motivation or energy for your tasks? Have you noticed change in your sleep patterns or physical health? Do you feel like your work is no longer meaningful? If you answer yes to any of these, you might be experiencing burnout, and if you are not, change someone close to you as what cause burnout? If you burnout can stem from many factors, including lack of control over how work is carried out, unclear job roles, and expectation, unmanageable workload and time pressure, lack of support from colleagues or supervisors, ongoing sense of stress and hopelessness. And I have a question to you. Are you working and teaching tired or not? Please show me hand when yes. Thank you, Paulo. And what about another teachers? Okay, you can write the plus in our chat. Yes or not, are you working and teaching tired? And maybe I will send you this presentation, but this is a very important question for you and for yourself and for your colleagues. Have you become cynical or critical at work? Do you struggle yourself to work and have trouble getting started? Do you lack the energy to be consistently productive? Do you find it hard to concentrate? Please ask yourself about this. You should check your mental health and your physical affect individuals. It affects teams, institutions, and entire profession. And the first sign of burnout is feeling a loss of control. And these very important questions, how have you ever been in a situation where you had to not say in half of identity? And have you felt unsupported by colleagues or supervisors? When we lack autonomy and support, it creates chronic stress, making burnout almost inevitable. Are you affected? Ask yourself, do you feel like you can no longer do your job effectively? Experience of warming that is not about having a bad or this. And finally, is it just stress? A lot of people mistake a burnout for stress, but let's be clear. First, stress is temporary. You might feel overwhelmed, but there is still hope and motivation. Feels never ending. It brings feeling of emptiness, apathy, and hopelessness. if you feel like living with burnout, not just stress. And finally, loss of empowerment. But for teacher it's more important. One of the most dangerous symptoms of burnout is emotional detachment, or your colleagues or even your loved ones. Do you find it hard to feel compassion for the people you used to support wholeheartedly? Burnout can drain not only your energy, but also your empathy, making it difficult to connect with others. And and shame is one of the most damaging aspects of burnout, because it makes us believe that our struggles are personal failures rather than systemic issues. And that belief can be incredibly isolating. And there is the shame cycle. One moment, please. Роман Ильич, а у меня сейчас лекция, я могу перезвонить? Да. Все, секунду, я сейчас... Sorry, one moment. Валерия, она же учит у нас два предмета читать и научные статьи в первой, второй парте сколько записать. С Швейцарии. Вот это, да, вот это, что он уже три статьи. Okay. There is the shame cycle. When we harmful thoughts, negative self-talk. I should be able to handle this. I'm not good enough. Why can't I keep up? And loss of confidence. You begin to doubt your abilities, even in areas where you once excelled. Loss of self-respect. You feel your worth rather than your circumstances. This cycle leads to self-blame, making burnout even harder. Weakness is a structural issue. Workplace that lacks support and realistic expectation create exhaustion, feel like a badge and honor. They believe that you should just push through, keeps stuck on an unhealthy cycle. And now you can see the support from management. One of the most significant contributors to burnout is the clear communication and support or unsupported struggle with motivation and engagement. Second, lack of role abilities, expectations of decision-making power, frustration, and confusion, difficult to prioritize and meet expectation. The next, unreasonable time pressure, deadlines that are too high, unrealistic performance expectations, and a constant sense of urgently lead to chronic stress. When employees are given more work than time allows, burnout becomes inevitable. And next, unfair treatment at work. With favoritism, discrimination, and workplace conflict contribute to emotional exhaustion. When employees feel undervalued or unfairly treated, it erodes trust and engagement, leading to burnout. And finally, unmanageable workload. Perhaps the most obvious reason for burnout, having too much to do with too few resources. No one can sustain peak performance in the defined. Without balance, even the most dedicated employees will burn out. And you can see the cost of burnout. The key statistic about this, that 63% more likely that take a sick day. Burnout weakens the immune system, leading to increased absenteeism due to illness. The body cannot sustain prolonged stress without physical consequence. Half of likely to discuss performance goals with their manager. When employees are born out, they disengage from conversations about growth and development. And they stop striving for excellence because they are in survival mode. And you can see that 2.6 times more likely to leave their current employer. Burnout is one of the leading causes of high turnover rates. Organizations with high burnout levels struggle to retain top talent. 23% more likely to visit the emergency room. Burnout isn't just mental. It has real physical health risk. Stress-related conditions like high blood pressure, anxiety, and sleep disorders lead to emergency room visits. And 13% less confident in their performance. Burnout leads to self-doubt, lack of motivation, and reduced job satisfaction. Employees feel incapable even when they are highly skilled. And very important question, what can we do? Understanding the cost of burnout is only the first step. The next step is taking action. The first action for employees' personality. Set boundaries. Learn to set and prioritize tasks. Take breaks. It's easy, but very important. Productivity decreases when we don't allow ourselves time to rest. Seek support. Talk to manager and colleagues when burnout symptoms appear. The next, we're talking about for employees, but for employers and leaders. For this important, create a culture of balance. Encourage time of flexible work schedules and wellness programs. Improve communication. Employees need to feel heard and supported by leadership. Ensure fair workload. Overworking employees leads to turnover and lower productivity. And burnout isn't just about the individual. It's also about the environment control. Three key actions to combat burnout. The first, distinguish between what we can and cannot control. It's very important. What we can, I'm sorry, I switch off. Михаил, а вы меня не видите, да?
Ми спеціально вимкнули відео, тому що у вас поганий зв'язок, і тоді краще стало вас чутно.
I'm sorry, да, я пытаюсь, думаю, может быть, это у меня что-то, извините.
Дякую.
Okay, and the great three actions. The first, distinguish between what we can and cannot control. We can't control every aspect of your workload of the demands placed upon us, but we can control how we respond, the boundaries we set, and the conversation we have about expectations. And also very important, focusing on what's within our power helps us avoid unnecessary frustration. The next key action, take in inventory in the external factors that keep contributing. What systems or expectation in your work environment are fueling burnout? Is it an unrealistic workload, lack of support, toxic work culture? Identifying this factor helps shift the conversations from self-blame to systemic solutions. And finally, it built resiliency. Resilience isn't just about pushing through, it's about creating sustainable habits, prioritizing self-care, setting boundaries, and developing a support network make us better equipped to handle channels and challenges. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing smarter. But what is burnout and how can be avoided? Most of us get stressed at work at some point. Burnout occurs as a result of sustained stress that never subsides. This is due to prolonged periods of intensity and excessive demands of energy, strength, and resources. The one author, Herbert Frenderberg, coined that term in the 1970s. He recognized that professions which involve a strong sense of morality or purpose and commitment from workers who sacrifice themselves for the good of others were the most of risk. It's no wonder that teachers and everyone working in education are at risk of burnout. Accountability pressure, workload, and hours can increase stress and impairments how its comparison to other graduate roles. On top of this, teachers and other education have taken on a raft of social responsibility during the pandemic. And question, what is teacher burnout? Let's see a little bit definition about what is teacher burnout. According to the National Education Association, teacher burnout can be defined as a condition in which an educator has exhausted their personal and professional resources necessary to do the job. While burnout is common phenomenon in all professions, teachers tend to see higher levels of burnout. In fact, one survey by RAND shows that teachers are more than twice as likely to be stressed as other working adults. And according to a study from teachers, there are 40% more likely to experience symptoms and anxiety in comparison with healthcare workers. 20% more likely than office workers, and 30% more likely than workers in other professions like farming and military. Some of the warning signs of teacher burnout are the first: change in appetite, weight gain or loss, anxiety or depression, fatigue, sleep disorders, lack of job satisfaction, and others. If not taking care of these burnout symptoms can lead to chronic depression and serious physical health problems. Burnout in teachers is not only impacting their lives, but also the students who are missing adequate attention and guidance. Students under teachers with high anxiety tend to perform worse academically, particularly in subjects like math, and can develop negative feelings and behaviors. Now that you know what teacher burnout looks like, and what are the most common causes for teacher burnout? There are plenty of reasons for teacher burnout. Teacher report. The first, heavy workload, a poor education landscape of individual education program plans, staff shortage, social media issue, safety issue, low salaries, mental health, and difficult education funds. Teachers are also exposed to continuous criticism because in modern day parenting, this criticism often more from teachers having different teaching styles that aren't respected by parents. You can see another statistic about burnout, and very important question: how can burnout be avoided? Burnout impacts most of us at some point of our working lives. It's a combination of the emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by working long hours. The symptoms develop under the radar in the form of excessive and prolonged stress. Over time, our enthusiasm, passion, and energy are buried under the weight in the stress we have been carrying around. Burnout can weak house in our health, happiness, relationships, and job performance. Independent contracting professionals can be particularly to burn out due to their exhausting schedules, willingness to take on challenges, and that deadlines in fast-paced work environment. And also, here is a few positive suggestions we come across to help keep ourselves healthy and on the track. The first is make sure the foundation are in place, sleep well, don't skip meals, eat healthy, and drink a lot of water. You may feel that working long days will help you accomplish more things, but you will likely become tired and stressed and achieve less than if you make time to eat, sleep, exercise, and relax every day. The next, manage your workload. The fear of turning down work and therefore money can lead you to accepting work or short-term contacts, even when you know it will be really difficult to meet the agreed deadline, and quality may be sacrificed. You are your own boss and responsible for the quality of your work. Remember that this is your brand. Therefore, it makes sense to offer a substandard effort because you take on too much. And remember, please, that to switch off now and again, turn off all gadgets such as iPads, computers, and smartphones. They can consume large amounts of your time and energy. Take 5 or 10 minutes back for yourself and feel great about it. Taking a few minutes each day for reflection and self introspection will pay huge dividend. And some people die at 25 or aren't buried until 65. The next tip is socialize and re-energy, recharge your battery. As humans, we have an innate need to connect with others. Cutting yourself off from your social cycle or family is a sure way to burn out both mentally and emotionally. And it's an expense that should be avoided at all costs. Spending time with others can also provide fresh perspectives, stimulate new ideas, and help us discover previously undiscovered resources. Having a circle of genius to discuss issues with a business owner, it's a great benefit. The next, set realistic goals. Short, medium, and long-term goals are essential to avoid stretching yourself too thin. Commit them to paper and you can revisit them. Make sure your goals are realistic and a clear path achieving them is in place to ensure you avoid unnecessary anxiety and stress. If you allow yourself to become overstretched, you run the risk of getting on that slippery slope or working too hard, not looking after yourself and damaging your health long term and maybe even your career too. And also, very important, ask for help. In the real world, you won't be able to do everything yourself. As mentioned above, the circle of genius can be big help. Think of those who you can pick up the phone to at any time to discuss ideas, and if you always ask for help when needed, you might just be surprised with people willing nice to help. By managing yourself and your time wisely, you can ensure that you are operating in peak performance. Remember that break the necessary and can improve productivity, allowing you to recharge or refresh your mind. And next, burnout is considered to have a wide range of symptoms. However, three main signs of the condition are exhaustion. For teachers, this may include both emotional and physical exhaustion. Evidence of this may by frustration and irritability, mood swings, impaired concentration, chronic fatigue, and insomnia, as well as physical symptoms such as increased illness, palpitation, gastrointestinal pain. The next, detachment from the job. For teachers, this may develop through cynicism and pessimism toward teaching students, colleagues on the school itself. The person with burnout may prefer to avoid contact and involvement with others and experience a loss of enjoyment from the thing that once brought pleasure. And finally, reduced performance for teachers. This may develop through negative feeling, lack of productivity, and poor performance. Evidence of this may be feeling for hopelessness and apathy, low self-confidence, increased irritability with oneself and others, increased time spent completing tasks and apathy to want to do. We need to look after ourselves and just to we work with if we are to keep great teachers teaching. And next, while it may not be possible to eliminate burnout within the profession, there are ways we can take action to avoid it ourselves. And you can see the first tip for avoiding burnout. The first, be aware to your emotional stress levels and health. Ensure you make time to check in with yourself. Strategies such as mindfulness, meditation, and journaling can be helpful, as can talking to others or even yourself. When I reached a state of burnout, I didn't know until after the experience, which was almost a year later. Having an awareness and the understanding of stress, burnout, and mental health is invaluable to understanding yourself, since learning about burnout, the symptoms and consequence. I have become far more aware of what is going in my head and so can ensure. It's important you take the time to learn about and take time to check in before you need it. The next tip is take charge of your well-being. As teachers and educators, we must remember that we are only human. There is only so much we can do in the time we have. We need to balance both our work and our own lives, while also fitting in rest and relations. Every one of us will have a different version of what it means to have good well-being and happy work-life balance. Yet far too often we put our students before ourselves. Putting yourself before work is not wrong. As the old saying goes, that you can't pour from an empty cup. If you are to look after and provide the best education for your students, you have to spend time refueling and looking after your health and well-being too. Take time doing the things you enjoy. Spend time with family and friends. Get outside and enjoy the world. Plan your holidays and weekends in advance to you are not tempted to do just work. Give yourself a break. Next tip. It's accept that sometimes you just have to say no. It's okay to say you can't do something, whether it's due to limited time and already you to-do list in the limited impact it will have on student outcomes. Sometimes you just have to say, sorry, I can't do this. Learning to say no to myself and to others have been quite the learning curve. I have found it hard at times. However, learning to say it has been essential for my health, well-being, and even sanity at times. When you want to the best for those around you, it can be hard to say not to things, but consider the impact, the time, and your well-being. Next, about Mental Health Day. If you feel like you might be reaching a point of burnout, perhaps you are exhausted, emotional, and easily inclined to take a day or two to recover. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Whether it's a school day that you take off sick, a weekend of school holiday, take the time to relax and recover when you need to. It can be attempting to pack weekends with activities to keep yourself entertained so you don't just work through them. If it can, you need to stop, rest, and relax. Make sure you do. And next, get support when you need it. And please make use to the support available to you. And sometimes it's hard to seek to people you are close and even harder to speak to a stranger. They listen, support, and can coach and guide to help you discover solutions that are best for you. Okay. And also the next page about ask you and your colleague, and this is another question. And also here is, you can see the link for the video about the burnout blockers for teachers, building your confidence as a new teacher, and burnout blockers for teachers and mindset to prevent burnout. This is very important for the deeper understanding of this subject. And final thoughts that if you are feeling overwhelmed, remember this: burnout is not a personal failure, it's a signal that something needs to change. So instead of asking, why can't I handle this? Let's start asking, how can we make this more sustainable? Burnout is not just an individual problem, it's a workplace crisis. Studies show that 50% of full-time employees experience burnout at least once, and the consequences extend beyond the individual. Organizations with the high burnout rates face increased absenteeism, decreased productivity, and high turnout. Dear colleagues, thank you so much for your attention. Who has maybe any question for me about this very important subject, important important idea about burnout and self-saving for the life, for our family, for the personality, for the productive, more productive work in our workplace. No questions?
Пані Вікторія, щиро вам дякуємо за лекцію. Дякуємо, що замінили пані Юлію. Щиро дякуємо за співпрацю. Всім учасникам бажаємо гарного та успішного робочого тижня.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.